So I really like making recordings to make videos of. Uh, I didn't expect it to be, but it's really cathartic. And I don't really know. I mean, I actually only have a couple up right now, but I've been making recordings. Just haven't posted any new ones, but I'm gonna. And it doesn't really even matter if no one watches. If one or two or three or 10 people do, though in YouTube terms that would be like a miserable failure. That would be more people than listen to me in real life. That's not true. But you know what I mean. Uh, so cool. Awesome. But if anybody does watch this, I guess I just wanted to encourage people to make videos, because I think what it's all about in the end, though there have been leaders, there have been people who have really shaped the discussion and the ideas, and bravo to them. And who knows, you could be sitting there quietly and you could be a person who really affects the ideas of people out there in a major way, like those others who have done so in a major way. But even if it's not in a major way, it's about the discussion. The little discussions everywhere as well, like how important they are. If you go to a speech, a lecture, or a show, a concert, it's not just the experience of witnessing the art. It is the entire experience. You go to a great concert, you're on a big amphitheater lawn, you're dancing, drinking, smoking, hanging out, see people you haven't seen, meet some new people, sunshine, excitement, energy, and then of course witnessing, in this case, the music all together, like that experience, wow. But even outside of that, before, the laughing, talking about what's gonna come, the anticipation, how just the anticipation itself affects the thoughts, the actions, and then the experience, and then after, all the talking and so on, discussing, feeling, sensing how the art, how the thought shaped everything, but how your friend, how someone you didn't know a few feet from you, how they were an active part of the situation, of what was happening. Were you to show up at this festival alone, sit in this huge amphitheater, an acre of lawn smack in the middle by yourself? I mean, that, don't get me wrong, that would be kind of cool too, Someone you really want to see, good sound system, that'd be pretty awesome. But, I mean, obviously, not really even what it's all about. Well, I mean, it is, but, it's just a part of it. It's all that social interaction, all that buzzing of the hive. And, like they say in the world, 6 degrees of separation. In something smaller, a movie theater, in a lecture hall, maybe even in a large stadium, it's so compacted, such a small sample of humanity, even though it seems large to experience it, that if in the world there's something to the effect of 6 degrees of separation, then in a small place like that, and especially where it's like congregations of friends and so on, and there's a locality involved, there's a certain radius of people who go there, major portion, there's exceptions but they're minor in these cases. There's other conferences or so on where that rule would be changed a bit, But then it's usually because it's already part of a connected organization. Anyway, in something like this, you're broken down now to like 2 degrees of separation. So to put that into the, I guess, the you making videos context, me making videos context. You know, say there's 100 of us, there's thousands, millions, but say there's 100 of us, and say there's 10 dominants and maybe, 2 or 3 hyper ultra dominants in that group, as far as who's controlling who's putting out the best quality, having the most influence, and so on. It is the power and the ulterior discussions within that larger group which gives cohesion. Those smaller interstitial connections give so much strength, so much strength to the structure, and that's what's lacking in all structures. In the structure of our own minds, whether that's physical or ethereal or noumenal or however. We employ fewer connections than we should. We have fewer connections than we should. These small rivulets, these small capillaries, it's like within our body we forget the cellular nature of our body. I do. I was brought up in the paradigm as the rest, everybody else, brought up through this paradigm. And despite what I learn and so on, I recognize within myself, I have this very mechanistic view of the body. And I really don't have a cellular, corpuscular concept of the body, or of living systems, or of man-made structures, physical structures, organizational structures, business structures, relational, etc. So don't underestimate how important and how vital even the smallest of contributions are. The smallest of contributions is a rivulet. It's a tributary. It's a capillary. We're a big body. We need the heart. We need the brain. But we also need to think of every cell. People, God bless doctors and everything they do. And there's a lot of things that we need them for. But I think within the entire idea of medicine or nutrition, we're not asking the most fundamental question: how do I make every cell the best cell that it can be in my whole body, every type of cell, everywhere? How can they all be healthy? How can they all be supplied with the appropriate nutrients? How can they all be protected from the improper, things, chemicals. How efficient are they at removing decay, excrescence, garbage? And that's not to say that you have to stay a capillary. If you want to become a vein, an artery, if you want to function as the ruler of a large organ, that's okay too. But don't be afraid to stick your head out a little bit and be a capillary. I hope more of us do this, because it doesn't have to be this high production and so on. It's really just being alive now at this time, which I'll describe in fuller detail, I guess, later. Just to put my cards on the table. I guess that's what this is all about. But if you don't know, it's an amazing time. I mean, I guess I wouldn't know where to begin. If you have no concept of this being kind of a big deal. That's a gross understatement. I guess I lost my train of thought. So, anyway, make videos. Oh yeah, be part of the discussion. And, nothing to lose.